ambulances that cost $100,000, $100,000 plus. The city has done a great job to equip the fire department, and also to supplement our ESD1 that we're responsible for. And I think that when we did our inspection, our ISO ratings, we were told that if we could have another fire station across the railroad tracks, that we would have an opportunity to move our ISO rating to 1. Is that not correct, Chief?
It would be a portion of it.
It would be a portion of it. It would give us an opportunity to compete. And I think for those of you that live on the other side of the tracks and always wonder whether or not the fire department will get there in time, it is a legitimate concern. And I think this will answer that request from the citizens. So anyone else have any comments, questions on item B? Okay, having no further discussion, do we have a motion on item 11B as presented?
Motion to approve proposition number 2.
Second, Councilman Wheeler. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Okay. Item C, discussion and appropriate action to approve proposition number 3, $2,500,000 bond for designing, acquiring, constructing, purchasing, renovating, improving, enlarging, demolishing, and equipping the City Hall complex, and the purchase of land easements, right-of-ways, and other real property interests necessary. City Manager.
I think the motion included everything.
Okay. Yeah, I have some more to add about this one. When we built this one, the police department was across the street, so we wanted to move the police department, well, the council before arrived, wanted to, they had a great idea, they moved the city police over here in the court on this side of the building, and that left the old council chambers and City Hall and across the street, and it was renovated to extend the time so that when this was paid, I was told we could consider building a new City Hall. And so we're approaching that payoff date, so I think I agree this 100%. This was also mentioned in the strategic plan. I've seen that building snap, crackle, and pop so many times. And we've had the foundation repair due west, probably the 4th time I've seen it's not been here, 4 times already. And you know, that's also, you know, that's part of Converse, because the dirt in Converse moves a lot, but again, that is a very old building, and we put it to use, and its use is running out, so I think it's a great idea to put a proposition before the citizens to get us a facility that the citizens can be proud, and the developers come and see and meet and see that how serious Converse is to bring them in, bring quality businesses. Anyone else? No further discussion. Do we have a motion on item C? Motion approved by Councilman Wheeler. Second, Councilman Brown. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Carries. Item D, discussion and appropriate action to approve proposition number 4, $2 million bond for the purpose of designing, acquiring, constructing, purchasing, improving, and equipping the city animal control facility. City Manager.
Members of the council, remember this does not include any need to acquire land. This is for the facility itself. Secondly, it was my understanding that this does not include an animal park, a dog park. This is just for they want as large a facility that can handle as many animals as possible for this proposal.
Okay. This item also is something that the city needs with the growth that we're experiencing, explosive growth. When we go from 11,000 to 18,000, we're at 24,000. We'll probably be at 30,000 at the next census. We're growing rapidly. We do need an animal shelter. In 2013, when we did the strategic plan, it was identified. We had an opportunity with Judson when the land came available. Dr. Mackey helped us tremendously to acquire that land. The school board bought off on it and accepted with the partnerships that we had. And we basically traded that land for services in Converse because of the relationship that we have. And we told the Judson ISD when we asked for that land that we were going to build an animal control facility there someday, and that's what it would be. And that's a perfect piece of land because the back parts of floodplain should the city decide to add a dog park. It's perfect. There's trees there, and the front part is an outstanding opportunity to build our shelter. It's a perfect location. We understand that it was one of the first schools in Converse, the property laid, so we will respect that and put the appropriate documentation and monument if we need to do that as well. So, any questions? Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to Robin Benbrook. I had some discussions with her, and she understands the importance of the animal shelter. I have picked up 2 new dogs this week and trying to find homes for them, and we definitely need this. I just want to say we do need this.
Okay.
Mayor, we want this to be a no-kill shelter, so that we can piggyback on a lot of grants for food and donations.
Well, that's nothing to do with the bond. That's after, yeah. But yeah, we can just work that issue. Okay, no further discussion. Do we have a motion for item D?
I make a motion to accept item D, a discussion and appropriate action, $2 million bond for the purpose of designing and equipping the city with an animal control facility.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carried. Okay. Item E, discussion and appropriate action to approve proposition number 5, $1 million bond for designing, acquiring, constructing, renovating, improving, demolishing, equipping the city parks and recreational facilities, and the purchase of land easements, right-of-ways, and other real property interest. City manager.
Mayor, members of the council, I think Johnny did a good job in describing this proposal. This proposal is actually stepping out on faith. If you notice, this had less proposals as to what to use the money for than the others. The city's Economic Development Corporation has hired the architecture department of the University of Texas at San Antonio to prepare us a parks master plan. They hope to have that plan done by the end of December, we hope. Our goal is to take that plan and then implement components of the plan with this money. Now, $1 million is probably not enough money to do everything we need to do to our park system. But I think what Johnny pointed out was we can use this as seed money to join with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department grant program that they have, the National Heritage and Wildlife program that they have. We can ask for help from Bexar County and use our full-time grant administrator when that individual is filled in October the 1st when the budget is adopted. We think we can take this $1 million and parlay it into more money and to try to implement the Parks Master Plan. But the goal is to replace the playground equipment, do something with that lake that we've never used before at all, and come up with a program on how that beautiful lake could be used, and to update the sports complexes that we now have at our baseball fields and our football fields. That's the plan. This is just the first step on our parks program.
I agree 100%. I think this will be the catalyst to get us more grants. Based on our visit to the Texas Parks and Wildlife, they did indicate with a master plan, which we're doing now, University of Texas, San Antonio's doing a master plan for our parks, that we will be more eligible for grant money. So I think that we're on the right track. I think when you have families raised here in Converse, you have children. You saw tonight's presentation, JYSF. We have a lot of organizations wanting to use the parks. I believe that we should provide quality parks, ball fields, and alternative entertainment for the families here in Converse. So without further ado, we have a motion on item E as presented.
Motion to approve proposition number 5.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Opposed Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Item F, discussion and appropriate action to approve proposition number 6, $800,000 bond for design, acquiring, constructing, renovating, improving, expanding, demolishing, and replacing the city's library facilities. City manager.
Mayor, members of the council, the original discussion held by the committee was to build a new library. After they looked at all the other needs that the city had and the money we had available, they decided to recommend to you that we follow the original expansion plan put together when this library was first built and expand the library by approximately 4,000 square foot to the south towards the library and utilize the library at that location as long as we can. I believe what they pointed out to you, this is a short-term measure for 5, 7, 10 years before a new, larger library is needed for the community. But they thought we ought to follow the original library plan for when it was first built before we asked the public for money to build a brand new library. And that was the recommendation of the committee. But this is approximately $200 a square foot for approximately 4,000 square foot to the southeast of the existing library.
Okay, this proposition, I think the librarian is doing a fantastic job. I hear a lot of good comments. I know that you have limited resources. I've seen what you had to work with. I get a lot of feedback from the citizens, and they want a bigger library. I know that we get a lot of business from the unincorporated areas, so I made the call to Commissioner Calvert, and I requested me to try to get some funding from his part as well, since a lot of the unincorporated areas do use our library facilities. And I know that this is needed. You can never go wrong with education. This is the catalyst for education, especially when we're trying to support a big, just an ISD and working together. So I think this is a great proposition as well. Any comments, City Council? Okay, having no further discussion, do we have a motion for item F as presented? Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Okay. Item G, discussion and appropriate action on ordinance number 222, 2015, calling a bond election to be held in the city of Converse, Texas, making any provision for the conduct of a joint election. City manager.
Members of the council, this is the order calling for the election for the November the what day? The November the third election. The ballot language is identified on page 5 of this ordinance. There are 6 separate propositions proposed so that the public can vote item by item on what they'd like to authorize and what they'd like to see. And our bond counsel is here tonight. If anyone has a question, do you have anything you need to say, Jeff, before this is done?
Sure.
And we would propose, based on the actions taken, we would ask you to call the election, calling the bond election. It will be on the same ballot as the city council election.
Okay. Any questions for city manager? You just want to make a comment. I think the attorney might know his analysis that since we've approved these, once they go on the ballot, that we can no longer advocate for or against using public facilities. That correct? So this will be the last time that we can really say anything about these things.
2 cents in, this is it.
Right. Exactly. And I want to one of the board members mentioned a bond committee. It's a good idea because I happen to be on the 2013 Jefferson ISD Bond Committee. We've been meeting since they started Copperfield Elementary. They've been on, all the mayors, the 6 mayors have been on, we meet every Wednesday, monthly on Wednesdays, and we get total briefings, detailed briefings on all the expenditures, and we make sure that they build what they said they're going to build. We have the wording for the bond and everything. So it's a good idea, and that's going to happen here as well. Yeah. So the citizens don't have to worry. Say we're going to do, we're going to do, we're going to do.
And I think they said per project, right? Per project.
Okay. And no further discussion. We have a motion on item G as presented. recommended by city manager.
Mayor, one last thing, it's my understanding under the